way. Turning a new corner.
Hi guys, welcome back to Total Sport. A few weeks ago I had the pleasure of speaking to the Red Stripez. It was a fantastic, fun-filled 30 odd minutes or so, and I managed to create an article for Prost International, which is really good. In case you don't know who the Red Stripez are, I'm not sure how you don't, they were two blokes, two friends, two Southampton fans who decided to create a song to be the soundtrack for Saints' European ascent under Ronald Koeman. They picked up along the way a few amusing anecdotes, a few funny tales, including dancing with Ian Branfoot, the manager that benched Matt Le Tissier, and prizing Mick Shannon away from his horses, as well as filming slyly at St Mary's. Anyway, I'll let them talk about it. These are the guys that amassed over 300,000 views on their social media, two ordinary fans that created a music video. This is the Red Stripez. Before you watch it, please subscribe to TotalSport if you haven't already. Thank you.
There you go.
Cheers. So, obviously you two are mates. Tell me about how you know each other. When did you first meet?
Well, I can't remember really. I think we were drunk somewhere. I think we were at a thing in Winchester called the Hat Fair.
That's it.
And it's like a theatre production thing, and we got drunk on Scrumpy.
That's it. Great Scrumpy.
Yeah. How old were you when you met? Was it a while ago or?
Probably about 8 years old, wasn't it? If it was a Scrumpy.
Did you two just hit off straight away, or Mark, what's your first impression of James? Was a bit like, who's this guy?
Well, I don't know. I saw James when I was in Winchester playing with my band. James was there working, and we just had a mutual like for the Manic Street Preachers, I think. And then we said, well, if we like the Manic Street Preachers, we might as well make a Europop song for Southampton Football Club, hadn't we? So it all began there.
Oh, so did you just know meet each other just before the song came out, or did you know each other way back before then?
Oh, way back before then. I think this is a little itch which James has had for a while, isn't it?
Yeah, because all of the I always thought that when I went to games in Europe and I went to games in Germany and stuff, the fans are a lot louder and a bit more passionate about the club, and they get so involved, and you've got all these what do they call them? What do they call it? Behind the goal.
Lucozade bottles.
No. Begins with T. Anyway, but yeah, I just felt that the Saints needed a little bit of a push, because the St Mary's is a bit quiet sometimes. I think we have to be honest about how much it needs a bit of a kick up the arse.
Do you think? I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like even when there's less fans in the ground in League One Championship days, it was actually louder than when they got promoted. Would you agree with that or not?
Yeah, I would definitely kick off when we were losing to Rochdale. I was very vocal then. More so than when we were losing to, I don't know, West Brom. But when you're 2-0 down at Rochdale, someone's going to kick off.
So you bonded over the Manic Street Preachers. How quickly did you know that you both share the love of Southampton?
Imminently, probably. I talk about the club all the time.
I kicked in the shirt. I was wearing a full replica kit on stage.
Yeah.
And yeah, proper full kit wanker.
So 100,000 views on YouTube. I was actually I've been watching it. So the game was Friday. I've been watching it over the weekend. Both songs. What I forgot though is that they were two different songs. And because obviously Saints, we lose players all the time. You had to change the songs a little bit. But first of all, who wrote the song, and whose idea was it in the first place?
Well, Jim, wasn't it? You had that itch. Jim had the idea. He had the itch, and he said, "Come on, get involved with this idea. Make a Europa song for Southampton." And I said, "Oh, I don't know. Oh, Chapel Stand won't stand for it." And he said, "No, come on." And he went away, made a MIDI file with a nice little hook in there, synthy hook, something which Sonic would have killed for back in the mid-90s. Sonic would have loved that. And then, then on my computer, I built it up, added some cracking synthesizer sounds onto it, some fat beats.
I agree.
More so in the second version, massively fat. First version, we were sort of toying around, weren't we? It was sort of like a fuddy bass, whereas we got a real pumping one in the next one, proper European. And it just built from there, didn't it? And then, of course, we had to do a music video. First time around, no one had ever heard of us. So, I don't know, Jim, you went around, didn't you? And you started emailing all the ex-Saints.
Yeah. I wrote to Mick Shannon, but I couldn't get Mick in the... I think Mick wanted to do it, actually. Do you remember? And we couldn't agree on a date.
We had trouble prizing him away from his horses.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and some of them were really good about it, and others not so good.
But so have you guys always been more involved in music in your day-to-day life, or have you got other jobs as well?
Yeah, I mean, since I left school, really, always music stuff, one way or the other, and whether that's festivals and releasing music and records, and it's my passion,
Same for you, Mark?
Yeah, I'm in a band part-time, just playing around in a sort of deaf electro pop rock extravaganza. And then I've got a nice techie full-time job where I'm quite geeky in it. I like playing around with video editing, making fat electronic Europa beats, very techie IT stuff during the day that pays the bills and allows me to buy the very best replica shirts.
What band is it you're playing?
Broken Links, they're called.
Broken Links. I have to check that out. Are they on YouTube?
No, they're on there. They're on there. Yeah,
they're all over YouTube.
I'll have a little look. So the Fat Beats came out. It was released just ahead of the season. What was the initial reaction from fans like?
No, let's not beat around the bush here. The first time round, we released the first one in 2015, wasn't it? Very early. We released it very early, before he'd even qualified, and we went crashing out. But and some people would say we were a bad omen and it was our fault, and people were saying lynch them. There was like Guy Fawkes style Red Stripes, and people were burning them and walking around like a burning effigy of us around Southampton. But then we qualified again, this time with no qualifying rounds beforehand, and then we thought this is the perfect opportunity, like Gareth Bell. If he can't score some goals, just put him on the last minute, make sure the team wins. You remember when he was at Tottenham? Yeah, and he couldn't. Every time he was on the pitch, Tottenham lost.
Yeah.
So we thought, sod it. This time, we'll do the song after we've qualified, and that's what we did. And of course, it was all right.
I think
it was all right the second time round.
I think it's the same. Anything you do musically is always the same. Is that you can't please everybody. That's the first thing. You'll never please everybody. And the other thing to consider is, even if someone thinks the song is bloody awful, it could just be the one song that sticks in their head all week. And I think we did something good. I think the kids loved it, the younger people loved it. It kind of brought a lot of people together, and I would hear people singing it in the streets and on the way to matches, and I was very happy with how it went, really, in the end. But I do think you'll always get a few of the lads that want to have a go, and that's all right as well, I suppose, because that's what we're there for.
If it's any consolation, my nan and granddad absolutely loved it. I remember it. It's just, they rang me up because they must have heard it somewhere. I don't know if they have YouTube or anything, but they rang me up and he said, "Have you heard the new song Southampton have brought out?" Because they actually thought it's Southampton's official club song. I said, "What is it?" And she was like, "I love it. It's so catchy. I think it could go to number one." You know what they're like, but they loved it anyway. So forget about all the others.
I think it should have been the official track for the whole European thing. Should have been, and I think I have a feeling now that if Ralph was in charge back then, something tells me he might have liked it. You know.
I think he's got that type of personality where I just think he would just go with it. But I was reading today in your the bios that the downloads went to Southampton charities. Talk me through deciding that in the first place, and was it successful, and which charities did it go to?
Well, yeah, we gave it to the Countess Mountbatten out West End way. But you know, a lot of people think a lot of money's made when you sell MP3s and whatnot online. But really, we only made about £200 because everyone does it through streaming now. You don't really get much money back. But it all went to the Countess Mountbatten, yeah. It's just, you know, a lot of friends and family have been touched by cancer in some way. So, yeah, we thought it was a good cause.
But when you consider how many people listen to that track, I mean, it's a tragedy, really, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, I agree with that, Jimmer.
Yeah, 100,000 views on YouTube, and to get that, although it's fantastic, you know, where it went to and stuff, you'd hope that Saints fans will be able to donate a little bit more. But who knows? For the third song, I think they'll turn up and they'll pay in their droves, to be honest with you.
Whoa. Third song. We're getting carried away here, aren't we?
I'm getting carried away. I was at the Newcastle game. I was already picturing it in my head, that third song coming out. But that second video as well, I noticed that you were allowed in St Mary's. Did the club...
There's a story there.
I wouldn't say allowed.
Can of worms.
You didn't do a stadium tour, did you, and that film it on the fly?
Well, lovely man, Paul Lucas, the head of the Southampton Disabled Supporters Association, I think it is. He liked us the first time round, and he knew, obviously, we qualified for Europa. He's a Southampton fan. So he said, "Look, listen, guys, I want you to come down. I want you to perform live at the Southampton Disabled Association Open Day down St Mary's." So we went down, the couple of jokers we are, with our berets and our wireless microphones. And he did tell us, he goes, "Look, prepare yourself, because there's going to be some big names down there. You might be able to get away with, you know, recording a couple of, you know, getting a few cheeky faces in on the next video." We went down there and they were all there, all of them. They were all there. Franny Benali, Laurie McMenemy, Dave Peach,
Nick Holmes.
Yeah, blimey. They were all there. And not only that, they had the FA Cup open top bus. Lovely stuff it was. And they were doing free tours of the stadium. So when they were doing the tour, when the tour leader's head was turned, we'd go out on the pitch and we'd do a quick spin. But we were resorted to this. We didn't want to have to behave like this, but they pushed us to the limit, because we sent them official emails asking us, we were asking them if we would be allowed in to like, you know, film ourselves with Ronald Koeman, Puel, whoever was in charge then, you know, and you know, have our photos taken with what was his name? Ralph Kruger. And they just ignored us.
We should do Where Are They Now, Ralph Kruger.
Yeah. But yeah, the club weren't very responsive to us, so we had to do a lot of guerrilla filming. But I think the best one, the absolute peach of all of the video footage, was me and Jimmer. We went to go and see a band called Cooler Shaker. Do you remember them, Jacob?
I can't say I do, I'm afraid.
Cooler Shaker. Check them out. Spotify, they're on there. Cooler Shaker. Britpop. They must have had a number one with Hey Jude. No, is it Hey? No, not Hey Jude. Hey Dude. Getting mixed up. They're as good as the Beatles. But yeah, they were playing at Winchester Guildhall, and Jimmer goes to me, "Oi, Marco, look over there. Look who it is." I said, "Who?" He goes, "Over there. It's only Ian Branfoot." Ian Branfoot, one of the most hated Southampton football managers from the early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. Yeah, he dropped Letizia to the bench. I hated this guy.
He was there, so we had a quick Southampton in Europa with him.
And when Mark went up to him, he goes, "Hello, are you Ian Branfoot?" And I've never seen anyone look so scared in all my life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who's asking? Who's asking?
The ugly inside. Not really. It's the Red Stripes. Oh, that's all right then. I thought you were going to hit me. That's what he said. Yeah, he was actually a really nice guy.
Oh, was
really
he?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. He was really up for doing it. I think he thought it was his opportunity to make peace with Saints fans again.
Yeah, when he needed to, didn't he? But you filmed in a few locations. Was it just you two going out filming off your own back end, or what did you have a third person? And what I really want to know is who choreographed them dance moves?
So it was me, Jimmer, and then his missus, which is featuring in the video, is the lady with the beard at the end. The lady with the beard, dressed up like the captain of the High Ferry. She did. Yeah.
The dance moves are completely made up on the spot, completely off the cuff. Everything is completely made up.
It does worry me that if we do ever qualify again, how we'll ever match what we've done. I mean, we're rusty enough dropping in and out of our character accents on this call. We're very rusty, Jacob. We're very rusty. You know, normally this voice would carry on forever, but sometimes we go back to our normal voices. But
hang on.
Oh,
I thought this was your voice, and that you had to put the other one on for work.
Do you know what? You might be right. I just don't know what I'm doing anymore. It's been quite a long time. You know, I think I've been in character ever since the Red Stripes last did something. Just doing a normal voice. But what am I talking about?
I presume, Mark, you edited the video, considering you're a bit of a tech guy.
Yeah. We did. Yeah, did that. Yeah, a lot of time was spent in front of Adobe Premiere Pro. The 2014 edition, I think, cracked. But you don't tell anyone. We don't want a hefty bill, but we made no money. So I think it's all right, isn't it? If you make no money out of it, you're allowed to use cracked software or something like that. This is bad that I'm mentioning this. But yeah, I did the video editing, and then you were talking earlier. You were talking about the different locations, weren't you?
Yeah.
Because I remember what we did is we just jumped in my Volkswagen Golf Mark IV 2002 edition, 1.4 litre GTI, and we'd just go for a burn around Southampton and try and find all the landmarks, like underneath the Itchen Bridge. That's one of my favourite ones, underneath the Itchen Bridge. Where else did we go?
I like the Hive Kebab Centre.
Yeah, that was a personal favourite of mine.
Yeah. And in fact, not a lot of people know this, but the day before, it's the day before filming at Hive, I dislocated my shoulder. So you'll notice that the dance moves in and around Hive are very restrictive because I wasn't able to swing my right arm around.
I couldn't tell.
Keep an eye out for it.
I couldn't tell. Yeah. You disguised it so well.
Yeah.
So if I had to say, looking back there, and them 2 years where Southampton were at their peak, what was your overriding memory of that song and that whole experience in general?
I think my biggest memory of that song was when we did a couple of live shows, like before the matches, especially when they were away. We'd go around the local pubs of Southampton, and we'll show up with a battery-powered Eto blaster. We'd switch on the song, and then we'd dance around, singing Southampton in Europa, Papa, and people would lynch us and throw beer. Empty pint glasses at us, but they'd always throw a few quid in the pot at the end, wouldn't they? They'd absolutely hate us, but they'd always give us a bit of cash.
Yeah,
which,
I can remember we were written about in the Sun newspaper.
Mm.
So that was really good, and I do remember went to the game, which was Vitesse Arnhem.
Hmm.
And I can remember just hearing people singing it all the way from the train stations all the way to the stadium there.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was like a really nice touch.
I bet.
Yeah, I do remember doing an interview with a Vitesse Arnhem fan on television. There's a picture, isn't there, of a TV camera and me interviewing this Dutch fan. I don't remember what the hell was said, but I'm sure it was lovely.
No, as you say that, at the time though, it was quite a big thing, wasn't it? And obviously you've not been able to release anything recently unless you want to sing about relegation and Mark Hughes and Maurizio Pellegrino, which is not great. But hopefully
we had a conversation about the League Cup final.
Oh, okay.
But maybe we realised we wouldn't win. I'm not sure.
That was a good match to be at. I missed half the goals because I was because one was before half time and one was after half time. And I was queuing up to get a beer. Missed two of the goals. Unbelievable.
How would that song would have gone? How would have it gone? You know, because you can't say Southampton Europa. Did you ever think about the was it
Southampton in the Coca-Cola League Cup?
No, I have no idea.
Hopefully.
That does worry me. Actually, because you say this, but what if we do qualify for the Champions League? It means a completely different tune. So, you know.
That's why.
Yeah, but I think Europa is, and it is not the name of the tournament. Europa is Europa.
Mm.
I'd like to see you try and convince. I'd like to see you try and convince one of our fanatics that used to talk to us on Twitter and send us death threats. That's really what it's all about. Yeah, we weren't very liked by a particular man. He sended photos of us on dartboards, telling us he was going to come round and murder us whilst we were performing our song at some particular venues. And then he said, I dare you, I challenge you to come to the Saints pub in Millbrook to sing your song. Sort of like a virtual chicken, like that, and, he won. We didn't go around there. We didn't go around there. Shit scared we were. Shit scared.
Not going near there.
But now we live to sing another day.
Exactly. So, under Ralph Hasenhüttl, what do you think's changed? Why do you think all of a sudden your song is coming back up on my Twitter timeline? What's he changed in the team, in the club?
Well, obviously it started off well, and then obviously had a bit of a dip, and he's gone back to basics. It's 4-4-2, pressing up high. People know what they're doing. There's none of this complicated 3 at the back, 5 in the park. It just seems like it's a better team. There seems to be a big, like a big sense of pride going on in the team. Everyone's got a smile on their face. Theo Walcott, absolutely loving it the other day, wasn't he? When we won, it's like everyone's got a smile on their face, and Danny Ings is playing he's having a time of his life, isn't he? After being injured so many times, buggering about with all these top 6 teams. Sod that. Come to Southampton, man. Guaranteed. Play every week, if you don't mess your knee up, and just banging the goals in. Everyone's... Che Adams as well. I'm absolutely loving it, because I was the one who put £10 on Che Adams to score first against Man City. 150-1. No, I lie. It was about 18-1. And couldn't believe it. He did that goal. And I was like, oh my God, unbelievable. £180 in my pocket. Che Adams, beaming smile on his face. Amazing. Everyone's contributing now. James Ward-Prowse is turning into the player everyone ever said he was going to be. He's 27 now. There's still plenty of time left. Just seems like everything's going right.
And Mark, would you say we don't miss Højbjerg at all?
Oh no, sod him. Did he get a mention our song last time?
No.
J-Wood, no. Højbjerg. No, I reckon Højbjerg's in there somewhere.
I like this. I like the idea of only having players in the team that want to be at the club.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, to only have players that are passionate about playing. And I remember when Ralph took over, he said it'll take time, but he said it's inevitable. You will lose football matches from time to time. But he wanted to bring a style to Southampton that allowed the fans to feel proud of the team, even if we lost, which is now, if you think about it, I think that's what's happened, is that the team has a shape that even if we lose by 1 goal, no one's angry or frustrated or whatever. But back when we had Claude Puel, we could win. We could win the game and it was still boring. You didn't feel like the team had any identity. Nothing. What do you think to that, Ev? Would you agree there?
Yeah, I just think it's nice, fast, attacking football. It's entertaining, and that's what the fans want to see, isn't it? It's the old cliche. You want to pay to be entertained. And that's happening at Southampton now. Claude Puel is playing. I don't know. We should have just went straight out that last Europa. We should have been, having a good go. But instead we were playing. I can't remember what happened with the team selections, but it was just bizarre.
Jose Font would have played, wouldn't he? Jose Font did play, and then Sam McQueen would go left back, and he just kept rotating it. You didn't feel like, after everything that Southampton had done under Koeman and stuff, that we were giving it a proper crack, and then we lost to God knows who, and then we didn't go through the group stages, did we?
No.
But
it just seems like we got the right manager. We did bang on right work with Adkins. And it was a bit of a shame what happened, you know. He was turning things around. And then, you know, Mopo came in, made everyone fit. I expect they were fit anyway, but like he brought in this intensity to the game.
Do you remember there was a match, and I can't remember if it was Koeman or Pochettino, but we had a really good chance of an FA Cup run. And he played a weakened side.
Yeah, Pochettino.
Remember that?
Yeah,
I was so angry then because I couldn't understand any of that at all.
Especially for a team like Southampton, you're not going to win the league, are you? At the time, you probably weren't going to go down. Yeah, well,
I've got one word for you, Leicester. Leicester. It can happen.
It can happen, certainly. But I wrote about this the other day. I think what Southampton are doing now is they might lose, as you said, but you see them knackered at the end of a game. You don't see them under Claude Puel where they barely scratch the surface and they're passing sideways football. And although people say they finished 8th and got to a cup final, that's a bit of a false position in a way. They're boring to watch. And although Saints have got probably the technical quality of the Van Dijks and stuff now, they're far more hardworking and entertaining, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a feeling we started believing our own hype around about the time when Puel came in, and you know, and then we went for this. We got real lucky with a, you know, foreign coach before. Let's get Pellegrino in, see how that goes, and then of course it didn't go well. So you get old Sparky in, and you know. Well, rather than burning the house up by rigging up the electrics wrong, there was no spark, you know, no spark at all. But now I think we got it right with King Ralph. I mean, he's got a great track record anyway at Leipzig. So they were always pushing up for the Champions League spots on, you know, a team which didn't cost an arm and a leg. It just seems like he's getting his ideas across at Southampton now. You know, and our team hasn't changed drastically over the last couple of years. He seems to be getting the absolute best out of Ings at the moment, you know, and we're slowly getting rid of the dead wood, you know, and we're bringing in other players.
I was about to say then, I was really worried after Pellegrini that they might have given the manager's job to Wesley Hoop.
But yeah, we're safe there now. He's over in Lazio, isn't he? Over in Lazio.
Keep him out there. But so, what are your hopes for this season? Where do you think Saints can finish?
Oh, go on, Mark.
You've got to be realistic. But I'm hoping a top 6. That would be really nice. Maybe 7th, something like that. Obviously, you'd like to be higher, wouldn't you? But the season's long.
Can we do 7th or 8th with Europe?
Yeah, what would tempt the band back together? What league standing?
Well, European football for a start.
Yeah, well, I suppose you can't sing about mid-table, can you?
Or maybe a nice little cup run.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, the trouble is though, you don't want to write an FA Cup song, you know, around about you know the quarterfinals, because you might get kicked out in the semi-final. You become the bad omen, you know, like we were before. But it's just not enough time to put together a song and a banging video in between semi-final and final day. It's a tough one. Not without the backing of Southampton Football Club's media, Matthew Le Tissier, and all the first team. You know, if they get all on board and give us the financial backing, I reckon 100 grand would do it. And I reckon we could do it real quick. We could do it in a turnover of a week, maybe. But the thing is, so it's all got to be DIY. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you lose the essence of the Red Stripes, I reckon.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Jimmer?
Mark, Can you remember? Do you remember when about a month after Europa came out, they decided to release their own song?
The Southampton Way. Yes, I remember it very well.
Write that or something. Shane not write that, or was it?
I think Frank Sinatra wrote it.
Oh, yeah.
Sinatra wrote it, and Shane Long scribbled out some of the words and put his own in.
I mean, people didn't really want us, but they really didn't want that, did they?
No.
Oh, it was just before they kicked off, didn't it? And it used to send the crowd to sleep. Like, it was so slow. It's just like, was it
Drab?
Well, yeah, in your words, like, I agree. But how likely do we see you two back together at the end of the season? Last question from me.
I think if we're high enough in the table, we'll do something.
That's fantastic. That's what I want to hear.
I'm going to say it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You'll see us end of the season jumping around on YouTube with Neil Madison.
I'll love to be in the back.
He's going to
get involved in it. I'll be like a passerby or something. I can be a prop man. I would just want to be in it.
No worries.
Come on in.
No worries. You better practice your moves.
I'll get
That's
to
what I'm
work
going to
right
say.
now.